Good morning, good morning. Hey y'all, it's me, Kayla. I just wanted to come in and give an update. I haven't made really a video since I posted my natural birth, my home birth for everyone. And so I just was coming on here to get an update and check in with y'all. And I definitely promise that I'm going to start being more active with my posting. I'm going to try to make a video daily, just doing daily routines or mom life and stuff like that. So I had my baby February 14th, 2023 of this year at 12:14. So she's definitely a Valentine's baby. Um, and as you all know, I shared my live birth. I'm sorry, I scratched my nose, so I got a cut. And I also would love for y'all to like and subscribe to my channel. That way we can stay connected. And I really want to open up and grow with y'all. So yeah, I did my birth live, and I just wanted to do a follow up in regards to some of the questions I got and comments that I got on my video. And the video is posted on my YouTube channel. If anyone here hasn't seen it yet, I posted my live birth. So no one in my family had ever done like a home birth before, so I didn't have a lot of support. Um, Nobody wanted to do it. Everybody was scared, and everyone was saying, you should just go to the hospital. Go to the hospital, go to the hospital, go to the hospital. So, I mean, I kept it to myself for a long time that I even wanted to have a home birth. Well, first, I kept it to myself that I was pregnant because I already have 3 children, and I had just had a baby about 2 years ago. So I was like, dang, I'm pregnant again, and now I'm gonna have another baby. I really was not happy or excited at first for Olivia because I was like, I just really didn't want another child right now. I'm 30 years old. I'll be 31 in November. But I'm like, dang, I just had a baby. I haven't really even got back to myself or able to really just start enjoying my life again. And now I'm about to have to be pregnant again, whole 9 months pregnant, can't work like I want to, can't do the things I need to. And so I was not very happy at first, but I kept it to myself, and me and my boyfriend, we just kept it to ourselves. And over time, we became happy and excited for her. And then I was like, I don't think I want any more kids after this because the older you get, the harder pregnancy gets. And I was really tired this pregnancy and having the other kids. It was just a lot. So, I was like, after this, I'm probably going to get my tubes tied, which I regret. I already regret getting my tubes tied. So, if you have children and you're considering doing something like that, I would just think long, long, long and hard, and just do birth control or something. I wouldn't recommend doing something so permanent unless you're absolutely sure. But so nobody supported my natural birth. Everyone wanted me to go to the hospital and have the baby there with doctors. But, since COVID, they don't let people in the hospital like they used to. And I'm like, darn, I don't want to have this baby alone, just me and my boyfriend. I would love for my family to be there. I would love for my kids to be there. Like, I just want to be surrounded with my family and my loved ones. So, so I was like, I want to have a baby at home. And we had just moved into we've been here since August of last year, just to give a little background, because I am introducing myself to y'all as well. We had been staying in Fieldcrest for about 5 years, and that's considered government assistance, like a based on income apartment where, your rent is based on what you make. So that's another reason I was not excited about Olivia, because when I found out about her, I was still living in Fieldcrest. Hawk has, which is my boyfriend, he has one child outside of our relationship, and I do too. So, we already had 4 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment, staying on government assistance, and I got pregnant again. And we were in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. I'm like, dang, like, how I'm finna have another child. I'm still out here, And mind you, while we was living there and getting the cheap rent, we were saving and different stuff. So I'm like, if I'm having another baby, I have got to move. I'm like, I'm not having another baby out here in these apartments. And so we ended up moving. Like I had a classmate, because I'm a cosmetologist. Well, I'm still in school, but I'm a licensed braider already. But I had a friend who happened to be moving out of her house, and she was like, "Well, let me put you in touch with my landlord and, see how she feels, and if everything check out, y'all can move in." I told her, I said, "Well, please do that." I said, "Cause we got a big family. I braid hair, so I don't have like a check coming in every week to show consistent income. My boyfriend did, but I'm like, we got the money saved up. We can afford it. Like if she can let us do it, it would be such a blessing, y'all. And I'm gonna show y'all my house one day. But it's beautiful. I love my home. Like coming from a 2 bedroom apartment in the hood, 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartment in the hood with 4 kids, and we finally made the leap to leave the government assistance behind, because I'm like, it's time. So we made the leap, and now we have a beautiful home. We have like, I think, 6 bedrooms, like 4 bathrooms. It's upstairs, downstairs. My kids have a huge playroom that's bigger than our whole apartment. They one playroom is bigger than the whole apartment we had. We have a yard. My yard is a mess right now. I'm sitting here looking out the window. But yeah, my house is a mess right now. But I mean, my yard needs to be cut. But y'all, our home that we moved into, I love it. I'm sitting in my dining room right now. And I'm coming from an apartment where the dining room, kitchen, and living room was all in one room. Now I got a whole dining room that's bigger than half the apartment was. I mean, I love my house. It's such a blessing. We took the step to do what we had to do, and God, he's been providing ever since. We've been able to pay the rent, buy food, furnish the house, and live comfortably. And my kids love it. We got a pool outside and everything. Things that I just didn't think we would have anytime soon. It's a blessing. But back to my birth. So I knew I wanted to be at home and surrounded with my friends and family. So I started telling everybody, like, I want to have a natural birth and I want to do it at home. And it was so much like negativity. People saying, what if the baby's cord is wrapped? What if you start bleeding out? What if something go wrong? Like, just all these things that put negativity in your mind, and it just kind of dampers the experience and feelings that you're trying to have. So I created a Facebook group because I didn't have that much support from friends and family. So I created a Facebook group, and I had so many women joining, even men joining to support my natural birth. And so I have a whole Facebook group of women who went through the pregnancy with me, and they were checking in, and I kept them up to date on what's going on. And when the water broke, I updated them on that. And that's why the video on my page is alive, because I did my birth on Facebook Live. And everyone was there, y'all. It was just such a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful thing, but I didn't have a lot of family support. But in the end, the people who I wanted there most, they were there. My boyfriend, my mom, and my sister, and my kids were there, and we did it upstairs in the bedroom. Let me tell y'all what happened. So I my water broke like 3 days before I actually had my baby. So my water had broke. I was having contractions, but they weren't strong enough to, get my labor going. So after like a day or two of my water being broke, and I'm not getting into full active labor, I decided to go to the emergency room, because when your water breaks, it's a concern for the baby. So I went to the emergency room to get checked out, and they're like, um, your water is broke, and they like, we want you to stay here so we can go ahead and induce you. And I'm just like, it made me so sad. I'm just like, I don't want to be induced. I don't want to have my baby here. Like, I was just so down. So They told me though, they was like, if you have the choice, if you want to go home, you can go home. You can sign yourself out and go home, but you have to sign this paper saying that if something happens to you or the baby, we're not responsible because we've let you know that you're in labor and we've let you know that we want to keep you and go ahead and have you deliver. But if you want to go home, you can. So I sat there for like 30 minutes, called my mom, called my grandma, talking with my boyfriend because he was there with me. I'm just like, I really just don't want to stay. Like, I don't. But everybody like, Kayla, just go ahead and stay. You already there. Just let them take care of you. But I'm like, I know that would not make me happy. So I was like, I want to go home. And I signed those papers. And it was hard, y'all, because when you're like the hospitals, they're against natural birth. They don't like that kind of stuff because they want you to come and have the baby with them. So I knew that once I told the doctor I wanted to go home, they weren't going to be pleased with me. And it was hard. It was hard to sit there and tell the doctor, like, I want to go home after she done told me all the stuff she told me, and I can tell that she doesn't want to let me go. But I was like, I do want to go home. And so she came back in with the paperwork, and it was hard. It was hard to sit there and sign it with her staring at me, and kind of, it's like she got a little dry towards me after I let her know I wanted to go home. But I stood my ground, and we left on out. It felt good walking out that hospital with my baby still inside of me, like yes, I did it. So I left out. I'm like, okay, I had an appointment that Tuesday, which was 2 days away. So I'm like, I know that if I don't have this baby before that appointment, they are going to send me to the hospital to be induced. So I was doing all kind of squats and something I did. I can't remember the name of it, but it's something you do when you're pregnant, the mile circuit or something. It's different positions you use to help get the baby engaged and apply pressure to the cervix to try to jumpstart the labor, but none of that worked for me. So what did I do? I done went, sent my boyfriend to the store to get some castor oil. And I know people be against castor oil, but hey, it worked for me. I sent him to the store to get the castor oil, and I drank like half the bottle, and I'm waiting like an hour. So I'm like, dang, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So I'm waiting. Next thing I know, I had to start going to the bathroom, like a bowel movement, like my stomach tore the hell up on me. So I'm like, what in the world? So I go to, I'm using the bathroom, I'm on the toilet, like, oh my God, what have I done to myself? Why did I take that? What have I done? What have I done? And I'm using the bathroom about 5 or 6 times. The next thing I know, like something else kicked in. I'm like, this ain't just no cramp. It was the contractions, y'all. They started. Hey, Sarah. I already had the baby. If you want to go to my page, you can look at my birth live. I'm just recapping from my natural birth that I had. I'm doing an update, but the video is on my page if you'd like to go and watch it. But yeah, the contractions started, y'all. I mean, I took the castor oil at about 4 o'clock. My stomach started tearing up at about 6 o'clock. I would say probably by about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is when the contraction started. And once they started, y'all. Because when my water originally broke, and I mean, I've had 3 natural births. I've had 3 natural births, so I know what contractions feel like. But when the water first broke and I was having those mild contractions for those over those course of days, I'm like, I said, these don't hurt. Like, I'm not getting more intense. The contractions was consistent, but they weren't intense at all. So I'm like, this is not right. But when those contractions actually hit, when I was really, really in labor, it's no denying it. When you're in labor and them contractions hit, you're gonna know. So I'm like, and so I had 3 natural births in total. I had 4 kids. I did an epidural with my first child. when I was 18. But I have scoliosis, so my spine is curved. And it was the worst experience ever getting that epidural when I was 18. Because it was hard for them to get the needle in my back in the right spot. So if you ever had a baby and got an epidural, you know, like they bend you over on the table. You have to be leaned over on the bed, you know, leaned over like this. You have to be like leaned over like this. Your legs open so they can get into your back. So while they're trying to do the epidural, I'm steady having contractions, and you know, it was just horrible. It was the worst experience. So I said I would never get an epidural again. And so I've had 3 natural births in total. You know, with my other 2 births before this one, I was induced. That's why I didn't want to be induced this last time. So I was induced those other 2 times, and this was the first time that my body just went into labor natural. Well, I guess the castor oil did help, but you know, basically without the hospital involved. So the contractions hit, y'all, and they came on strong. Like once they started, it was no stopping. I think I was in labor for 2 hours before the baby came. I mean, once they got to moving those contractions, when those contractions hit, you are gonna know they're real. And so the contractions hit. I'm sitting on the toilet using the bathroom, and I'm like, darn, this is something else. Now this is not, you know, the stomach pains from having to use the bathroom. I was like, this, I'm in freaking labor. And nobody was there but my boyfriend, you know. So I called my mom, like, I need you to get here. I called my sister, like, it's time, it's time. And so they rush over. By the time they get there, honey, I'm ready to get up on the bed and start pushing. So if you watch my video, you'll see me a little bit off the bed, because I was standing there at first, and it was so funny. We had some good laughs during the labor too, because when the water bag was coming out, like I said, my mama and my sister, they never delivered a baby before, especially not my boyfriend. So I'm back there bent over, and the water bag started to come out. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what is that? Y'all, I feel something. I feel something. So if you see the video, you'll see them back there looking, and they like, it's the baby, it's the baby. And my boyfriend like, that don't look like the baby, but they like, it's it, that's it. It turned out to be the water bag, so they had to break that. And then I went ahead and got up on the bed, and most people were interested in wanting to know more about how I was able to stay so calm during the labor, because I'm not a screamer. I'm one of those people, like, I feel like the screaming and the yelling, it wastes energy, and it messes up my focus. Like, I can't, like, if I'm screaming and yelling, I'm not going to be focused on what my body needs to be doing. So the way that I stay calm during labor and through those horrible, intense contractions is first having the mindset that I'm here now. It's no turning back. If there is no epidural, there is nothing that you can do. The baby is going to come out. Like, you're in labor, it's time. So I know that screaming is not going to help me. Yelling is not going to help me. The best thing to do when you're in labor and having those intense contractions is to center yourself, to block everything out. And I sometimes would close my eyes and feel the contractions, because you know that a contraction is squeezing and moving your baby down. So every contraction, I'm trying to center myself and think in my head, when I'm feeling these contractions, this is my body moving my baby down, moving my baby down. So I'm thinking in my head, yes, this hurts. It's the worst pain I ever felt, but screaming is not going to help me. I tell myself, be calm, relax, and let your body work. Your body is built for this. You're strong enough to do this. It's women all across the world that have to do this every day. Children have to do this in countries where men marry those girls young, or in instances of someone being raped or molested, or it's just different things. It's so many women that have to go through this and they don't have a choice. It's not a choice to go and get an epidural or go to the hospital. They don't have that choice. And I wanted to feel like those women and go through what they have to go through. If a young girl, 12, 14 years old, can do this without support, I can do it. A woman in a foreign country who doesn't have access to a hospital or modern medicine, they have to do this. So I knew that I could do it. You can do this, Kayla. Be strong like those women have to be strong who don't have a choice. Bring your baby earthside and do it peacefully. You are a strong woman and you can do this. And so that's what I did. Every contraction, everything that came through, I'm just calm like this. Yes, this hurts, but if I scream, what is that going to do? If I yell, what is that going to do? Be calm and save that energy and let's get this baby out. So every contraction I felt, the pain was intense, but I'm just breathing. I'm just breathing. Breathe, breathe. Get through it. And every contraction, she just working her way down, working her way down. They get more intense. I know she closer to coming, closer to coming. And what happens a lot of times with hospital births is that they break your water. They cause your body to go into labor well sooner than it's ready to go into labor. On top of that, they have you on your back, which is the worst position to be in having a baby. We are mammals, we are animals. If you look at a cat, dogs, or whoever, when they have babies and they're mammals like us, they're in a position like on all fours or bent over. Something that's gonna give you and help gravity. When you're laying on your back having a baby, gravity is working against you. If you're on your knees or you're standing up or you're squatting, it's going to work with you to help get the baby out. So yeah, I was on my knees in my dog position on my little peanut, just rocking a little, just pushing, not really pushing too much, because that's the thing with natural birth. When you actually let your body go into natural labor, the baby's gonna come out. You don't really have to push. Like when I was up there, like, I was doing a little pushing, but that's just to give some help. It's like you can't help but push, really. It's not that I was wanting to push, but your body makes you push. It's like fetal ejection. I can't remember the exact term for it, but when you're in labor and it's time for that baby to come, your body is going to make itself push. So when you go to the hospital and they make you have the baby and they're telling you push, push, they're making you have that baby and get it out quicker than it wants to come out. If they just let you lay and be that baby, at some point you ain't gonna have a choice but to push. The baby's coming out on its own. So that's another difference with natural births and doing it from home. It's just, everything is just, even if you do a natural birth in a hospital, you have the right to tell them how you want things to go. But anyways, yeah, that's how I was able to stay so calm, just centering myself and knowing that I'm doing this for a reason. Like, I want to put myself through this. I want to go through what other women have to go through. And, I just want to understand and feel what they've had to feel. And it's a beautiful experience. But I can only imagine in some of those places are where women are alone and they don't have the support of family, or it's some young girl with some old man, or, different things. Like, it's rough. It's rough to get through on your own. So, I can only imagine having to get through it on my own, but having a good family and support system was amazing. I'm so happy that they came in the end and supported me, and we got through that together because we're just so close. Um, we'll never forget it. And so after I had the baby, um, sat there on the bed for a little while just to get myself together. But if once you have a natural birth, um, it's just crazy because you be in so much pain one minute thinking like I cannot go on, like this is gonna kill me, energy exhausted, like, and I seemed calm. I was very calm because I was calm, but y'all, I was tired. I was tired just from going through what I had went through. I was tired, and I was feeling like I can't take anymore. Like I was feeling like I can't do this no more. Like I just want to collapse. And just in that moment when you feel like you can't take it anymore, the baby will come. You have to push through that hardest moment and not give up. It's probably the most intense, strongest, longest pain that you will feel. But once the baby comes out, it's crazy that the pain instantly goes away. It instantly goes away. Like all that pain you were just feeling in that moment when your baby comes out, it's gone. The pain is gone and it's all worth it. That's why I urge everybody to at least just try to have one natural birth because it's life changing and it's something I feel like every woman should experience. Your body is built to do this, you're made to do this. Don't get so, I don't know what word I want to use that you feel, oh, I can't do it. I just got to have me an epidural. I can't do it. I can't do it. I hate to hear women say that because, yes, you can do it. If you really want to do it, you can do it. That's why some women come and like, I want to do a natural birth and this and that, but I know that they're not serious because I support women. I'm striving to become a doula, and I want to support women through their birth and through their labor and help them the way that I know I can with the techniques that I use. Um, but I meet some women and I just already know that they don't have the mindset because it's not for every woman. Some women just don't feel the need or don't have that drive or yearning to experience it. But for the women who do want to experience it, you should, and it's a beautiful thing. And don't let anyone change your mind about it. I didn't have a midwife. I didn't have a doula. I was my own. Um, but yeah, after the baby came out and I laid back on the bed, she started breastfeeding immediately. And after you have a baby and you breastfeed, it does cause contractions to start up again because it makes your uterus shrink. So I was in a little bit of pain once she started to feed. So then we got up and they took me on to the bathroom because I planned to have the baby in the water, y'all. I wanted to have a water birth in my bathtub up there, but when the contractions hit and stuff, it was just so much pain. I couldn't see myself being able to get over in that tub and be comfortable the way I needed to be. So that's why I ended up on my bed and just did it on the bed. But once I had the baby, we had the bath ready. It was warm for us, and we went and just laid in the water for a little while, rinsed her off and cleaned her up. And after about 10-15 minutes, then I knew it was time to go ahead and deliver my placenta. So, um, as I said, with hospital births, it's a lot different because when you have a birth in the hospital, immediately after the baby comes out, they start to push on your stomach. Push hard. It's horrible. The worst pain to feel after you just had a baby. But they'll be pushing your stomach to make your placenta come on out. And that sometimes causes people to bleed and hemorrhage. But with a natural home birth, you kind of let it come out on its own. So after I was sitting in the tub about 10 to 15 minutes, it's just a feeling. I don't know. It's just some feeling that you get, and it's like, okay, it's time to push again. So I got up on my knees, let my boyfriend hold the baby, and he was still holding her close into the water while I was up on my knees. I just got up on my knees and I grabbed the cord a little bit. You don't want to tug. You shouldn't have to tug or pull hard at all. But I just grabbed onto it a little bit and I start pushing, like, push, push, push. And it just come out. It just came out like a jelly blob. And boom, the placenta comes out. It was easy. It didn't hurt. It was pain free. But that's when most of the blood came. Once you remove that placenta, that's when you start to see a lot of blood. Um, so remove the placenta, let it stay attached to her for about 30 minutes or so. And then I let my daughter cut the cord. We sat for a little longer. And then I got myself cleaned up and we went on to the hospital. My boyfriend took us on to the hospital because even though I did do the natural home birth, of course, I want to get the baby checked out and get myself checked out to make sure everything is okay. So, and I was also getting my tubes tied. So we went to the hospital and they checked us in, checked the baby out. Everything was good, and checked me out. I was fine as well. And yeah, that was it for us. As far as the tube tie goes, like I say, I do have regret for getting my tubes tied because at the time I was just feeling like I don't want any more kids. I can't go through pregnancy again. I still feel that way, but it's something about having the option. You know, I would much rather have the option to have another one or not have another one by my choice. Instead of just making such a permanent decision that would be so hard to get reversed if I choose to. And I know that I'll never get it reversed. So if I do want another child in the future or something, I guess I'll just look into adoption or maybe just wait till I turn into a grandma myself. But yeah, I just wanted to come back and give y'all an update and check in regards to the birth because I got so much support on Facebook and YouTube. And there are some negative Nancy's, like it's a comment here. Kids should not be watching this private situation. It lets them be too okay with private parts in general. They are not adults and cannot manage this adult scene. And if they do, well, that sets them up for mismanagement. Seeing their mother's very private area exposed like that, even in the olden days, the kids were kept outside the room. Do kids see how babies are made too? And um, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with kids being there with me and witnessing it. My kids don't even really talk about the birth or remember it. It's just a memory in their minds, but nothing like, oh, I remember seeing this, remember seeing that. I mean, they just remember being there for their sister being born. And I'm a naked kind of mom anyway, so my kids see me naked all the time. I'm not one of those moms who feel like I have to always be covered. I walk around in my underwear or different things, around my children. I'm open like that. And it's places in the world where people walk around naked constantly. So, I mean, whatever. You feel how you feel. I mean, everything ain't for everybody, but I respect everyone's opinion. You feel like it's too much? That's fine. I don't feel like it was too much. Um, we enjoyed it, and it's something that we'll never forget. Let's see what else. I didn't really have many negative comments. That was one of the most negative, and it wasn't that negative, but it's just someone voicing their opinion. But everyone else was pretty supportive, and I just want to let y'all know if you want to have a natural birth or you're thinking about doing a home birth, think it through and get your mindset on it. Don't let people change your mind or make you feel negative about it or crowd you with these what ifs and what if this happens, what if that happens. Trust yourself, trust God always. Now if you have some medical issues or something that could cause a concern, then you may need to have a midwife there with you or a doula, or you may need to do the natural birth in the hospital just in case something happens. Always choose safety, protecting you and your baby first more than anything. But if you want to do it, I would say do it. If you want support, someone to help you and talk to you, answer questions, guide you, and be there with you, reach out to me. I would love to speak and conversate and just talk and answer any questions you may have, um, because it's definitely a beautiful thing. And I plan to be on here more and just keeping up, keeping y'all updated with life and things like that. Like I say, I want to definitely talk more about our journey from, staying in based on income in the hood to now having a beautiful home for our family and just the journey we're taking. I've been pretty good after having the baby. Um, I've been pretty happy. A few times I felt like I may be having some postpartum depression trying to creep up on me and, take me down, but I fight it and I'm happy. Everybody have their days. Things get rough sometimes, but, you know, I just try to stay positive and do what I have to do for the children I brought into this world. No mom is perfect. Never feel pressured to be perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's trying to learn, and we're all just out here doing the best we can. Um, I hope y'all like and subscribe so y'all can stay up to date with me and I can, keep y'all updated, let y'all meet all my children and my family and just really get to know us more. Well, here goes Olivia, who y'all watched being born. All the other kids at school, but here she is. Hey, Livy. That's Olivia Michelle Johnson. It's our last baby of the bunch. Hey, girl. And she's such a happy baby. I love her so much. And I'm so glad that I did go through with my pregnancy and I didn't, do the things that I thought that I wanted to do at first, when I was stressed out about having another baby. I'm so glad I brought my baby into the world and everyone loves her and she fits into the family perfect. So that's Olivia, y'all. If you want to go and watch her being born, the video is on my page, on my video feed. The live birth is there, so y'all can go watch her being born, and then you can come back and watch this video and see what it was all about. Y'all have a nice day, and remember to like, share, and subscribe so y'all can keep up with me and we can become family. Say bye, Livy. Say bye. Bye.